My name is Ethan Parker, and I am 21 years old. Exactly 21 years, 7 months, and 14 days. I know this because my twin sister Emma is exactly the same age, born 7 minutes after me. Those 7 minutes are the only thing I ever came first in. Everything else, my entire life, she has been first. First in our parents' eyes. First in their hearts. First in everything that matters. This is the story of how graduation day taught me that sometimes walking away from family is not giving up. Sometimes it is growing up. Let me start at the beginning, or at least what feels like the beginning of this particular story. It was May 15th, 3 months ago. The sun was bright, one of those perfect spring days that feels like it was ordered specially for outdoor ceremonies. Emma and I were both graduating from State University with our bachelor's degrees. Different majors, she was in marketing, and I was in computer science, but same school, same day, same ceremony. Our parents had driven up from home, about 3 hours away. Dad, Robert Parker, 52 years old, worked as an accountant for a mid-sized firm. Mom, Jennifer Parker, 50 years old, was a real estate agent. Upper middle class, comfortable life, nice house in the suburbs. The kind of family that looks perfect from the outside, and maybe it was perfect. For Emma, growing up as a twin, especially an identical gender twin like Emma and I were not. Since we were fraternal, people always compare you. Who is smarter? Who is funnier? Who is more athletic? Who is prettier or more handsome? For Emma and me, those comparisons started from day one, and they never stopped. Emma was the outgoing one, charismatic, popular, always surrounded by friends. She was the one who got lead roles in school plays, who won class president elections, who dated the quarterback. I was the quiet one. Good grades, but not exceptional. A few close friends, but not popular. I played soccer, but spent most of my time on the bench. I was fine with all of this. I did not need to be the star. I just wanted to be seen. But I was not seen. Not really. Not by the people who should have seen me most. Our parents loved Emma. I do not mean they liked her better or preferred her. I mean they loved her in a way they did not love me. When she walked into a room, they lit up. When she talked, they hung on every word. When she accomplished something, they celebrated like she had won an Olympic medal. When I accomplished the same thing, I got a pat on the back and a "good job, son." I spent my entire childhood trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. Why did not they look at me the way they looked at her? Why did not they get excited about my achievements the way they got excited about hers? I tried everything. I studied harder, thinking maybe good grades would make them proud. I joined clubs, thinking maybe being involved would make them notice me. I volunteered, thinking maybe being helpful would make them care. Nothing worked, because the problem was not what I was doing. The problem was that I was not Emma. By the time I got to high school, I had mostly given up trying to compete for their attention. I focused on being independent, on building my own life, separate from her spotlight. I got a part-time job at 15. I saved my money. I applied for scholarships. When it came time for college, I had enough scholarships and financial aid that I barely needed any help from my parents. Emma, on the other hand, had our parents paying for most of her tuition and expenses. But I did not complain. I did not make a fuss. I just put my head down and worked. I figured if I could not be their favorite, at least I could be self-sufficient. At least I could be the son who did not burden them. College was good for me. Being away from home, away from the constant comparison, away from watching my parents fawn over Emma, it gave me space to breathe. I made my own friends. I found my own interests. I discovered that I was actually pretty good at coding and that I enjoyed the logical puzzle-solving aspect of computer science. I got an internship sophomore year at a tech startup. They liked my work enough that they offered me a full-time position starting after graduation. Emma also did well in college. She joined a sorority, made a million friends, landed internships at big marketing firms. She was thriving as always, and my parents were so proud as always. I was also thriving, but nobody seemed to notice. The weeks leading up to graduation, there was a lot of planning and coordination. My parents were coming up for the ceremony. Obviously, Emma had invited about 15 of her sorority sisters and friends to various celebration dinners and parties. I had invited 3 of my close friends to grab pizza after the ceremony. My parents asked if they could join us, and I said sure, thinking maybe this would be a nice family moment. The ceremony itself was long, as these things always are. Hundreds of students in alphabetical order, getting their names called, and walking across the stage. Parker was pretty far into the alphabet, so Emma and I had to sit through a lot of names before ours. We were in different sections based on our majors, so I could not even sit with her. When my name was called, I walked across the stage, shook the dean's hand, got my diploma cover, and smiled for the photographer. I looked out into the crowd and saw my parents. Mom was on her phone. Dad was looking at something in the distance. Neither of them was watching me. When Emma's name was called about 40 minutes later, they were both on their feet, cheering and clapping. Mom was crying happy tears. Dad had his hands cupped around his mouth, yelling her name. The people around them were probably annoyed at how loud they were being, but they did not care. Their daughter was graduating. I told myself it did not matter. I had expected this. It was always like this. But something about watching them ignore my moment and celebrate hers so dramatically, it hurt in a way I was not prepared for. After the ceremony, we met up outside. Emma was surrounded by her friends, all of them taking pictures and hugging and crying. My 3 friends had found me, and we were chatting, making plans for later. My parents came over to our group, but their attention was on Emma. "Oh, sweetie, we are so proud of you," Mom said, pulling Emma into a huge hug. "You did it. Our little girl is a college graduate." "Thanks, Mom," Emma said, beaming. "I cannot believe it is over." 4 years flew by, Dad said, joining the hug. "You have worked so hard. You have made us so proud." They stood there hugging Emma for what felt like 5 minutes. I stood 3 feet away with my friends, watching. Finally, Mom looked over at me, almost as an afterthought. "Oh, Ethan, congratulations to you too, honey." "Thanks, Mom." "We should take some family pictures," Dad said. "Emma, go stand by that tree. The lighting is perfect there." We took approximately 30 pictures of Emma. Emma alone, Emma with Mom, Emma with Dad, Emma with both parents, Emma with her friends, Emma in different poses, Emma with her sorority sisters who had joined us. Then Dad said, "Okay, Ethan, your turn. Stand by the tree." We took 3 pictures. Me alone, me with both parents. That was it. "Great, I think we got it," Dad said, already putting his phone away. "Should we head to dinner?" "Emma, you made reservations somewhere, right?" "Yes, at Giovanni's, that Italian place downtown. I reserved the private room for our whole group." "Perfect. Ethan, you and your friends are welcome to join us if you want." I looked at my 3 friends, Mike, Jordan, and Alex. They looked uncomfortable, probably sensing the weird family dynamic. "Actually, we were just going to grab pizza at that place near campus," I said, "but thanks." "Oh, okay," Mom said, but she was already turning back to Emma. "Emma, did you invite Professor Martinez? She always spoke so highly of you." "Yes, she is going to try to stop by for dessert." And just like that, they were all walking toward the parking lot, absorbed in conversation about Emma's dinner plans, Emma's professor, Emma's future. I stood there with my friends, watching them go. "Dude, that was weird," Mike said quietly. "That is my family," I said, trying to sound casual about it. "They did not even really congratulate you." "It is fine. Come on, let us go get that pizza." We walked to the pizza place, and I tried to push the ceremony out of my mind. My friends were great. We joked around, talked about our summer plans, speculated about what our jobs would be like. Mike was heading to grad school. Jordan was moving to California for a software engineering position. Alex was taking a gap year to travel. We were all moving forward with our lives, and that felt good. Around 8 o'clock, I got a text from Emma. "Hey, are you coming to the house? Mom and Dad want to do gifts." Gifts? I had not thought about that. I texted back, "Yeah, I can come by. What time? Now is good. Everyone is here." I told my friends I had to go, paid for my pizza, and drove to the rental house Emma and I had been sharing with roommates for the past 2 years. It was a big house, 6 bedrooms, and Emma and I each had our own rooms. Our lease was up at the end of the month, and I had already packed most of my stuff, ready to move to my new apartment near my job. Emma was moving back home for the summer before starting her job in the fall. When I got to the house, it was packed. Emma's sorority sisters, various friends, my parents, even a couple of Emma's professors who she had invited. The living room was full of people drinking wine and eating fancy appetizers that someone had catered. "Ethan," Emma called out when she saw me. Perfect timing. Mom and Dad were about to do gifts. I made my way through the crowd to where my parents were standing near the fireplace. They had brought gift bags, which I only then noticed. Big, fancy gift bags with tissue paper spilling out of the top. "Okay, everyone, can I have your attention?" Dad said, and the room quieted down. Jennifer and I wanted to take a moment on this special day to honor our daughter Emma and her incredible accomplishment. Our daughter Emma, not our children, just Emma. "Emma, you have made us prouder than we ever thought possible," Dad continued. "Watching you grow into the brilliant, charismatic, successful woman you are today has been the greatest joy of our lives. You have worked so hard these 4 years, and we wanted to give you something special to celebrate." Mom pulled out one of the large gift bags and handed it to Emma. Emma opened it, pulling out the tissue paper, and her eyes went wide. "Oh my God, are you serious?" she said, pulling out what looked like travel brochures and a folder of some kind. "Open the folder, sweetie," Mom said, filming with her phone. Emma opened the folder, and her hands flew to her mouth. 2 months in Europe? All expenses paid? "Mom, Dad, this is too much." The room erupted in excited chatter. People crowded around Emma to look at the trip details. "You deserve the world, sweetheart," Mom said, pulling Emma into another hug. "You have earned this. 6 countries, 2 months, all expenses paid. You are going to have the time of your life." "This must have cost a fortune," Emma said, tears in her eyes now. "You are worth every penny," Dad said. "We want you to go explore, have adventures, see the world before you start your career. You have worked so hard. You deserve this." I stood there, watching this scene unfold. A 2-month European vacation, all expenses paid. That had to be at least $15,000, probably more. And they were giving it to her like it was nothing, like she absolutely deserved it, like it was the most natural thing in the world. I felt something cold settling in my stomach. "Ethan," Mom said, finally turning to me. She was smiling, but it was a different smile. Smaller, less genuine. "We did not forget about you." She handed me a much smaller gift bag, like significantly smaller, the kind of bag you would use for a small book or maybe a picture frame. I took it, aware that everyone in the room was watching now. Emma was still clutching her trip folder, beaming. I pulled out the tissue paper and reached inside the bag. My hand closed around something flat. I pulled it out. A Walmart gift card. $10. I stared at it. $10. To Walmart. "And there is more," Dad said. His voice had changed now. It was firmer. The proud father voice was gone. This was the dad voice, the lecture voice. I looked up at him. "Ethan, your mother and I have been talking, and we think this is a good opportunity to teach you an important lesson about gratitude and expectations." The room had gone very quiet. Emma was no longer smiling. She looked uncomfortable. "You see, son, life is not about getting handouts. It is not about having things given to you just because you want them. It is about working hard and being grateful for what you receive. Your sister has always appreciated everything we have done for her. She has always expressed gratitude. But you, Ethan, you have always just expected things. You have always had this attitude of entitlement, like you deserve the same treatment as Emma, without putting in the same effort." I could not breathe. He was lecturing me, in front of all these people, at my own graduation. "So, we thought the best gift we could give you is the gift of perspective," Mom chimed in. "That gift card represents the idea that you need to learn to be grateful for what you have. $10 might not seem like much, but it is more than a lot of people have. And the fact that your first reaction is probably disappointment, that proves our point. You need to learn gratitude, Ethan. You need to learn that you are not entitled to anything just because your sister received something. You too graduated from the same school on the same day," Dad continued, "but you did not have the same college experience. Emma was involved, engaged. She built relationships with her professors and her peers. You kept to yourself. You did the bare minimum. And now you expect to be rewarded the same way she is? That is not how the world works." I looked down at the $10 gift card in my hand. $10. And a lecture about gratitude and entitlement. At my college graduation, in front of a room full of my sister's friends. I looked up at my parents. My mother was nodding, looking satisfied with her speech, like she had really taught me something valuable. My father had his arms crossed, looking stern and paternal. Emma was staring at the floor, clearly mortified but saying nothing, and something inside me just went quiet. Not angry, not sad, just quiet, like a switch had been flipped and all the noise in my head just stopped. I had spent 21 years trying to understand why they did not love me the way they loved Emma. 21 years trying to be good enough, trying to earn their attention, trying to matter to them. And in this moment, holding a $10 gift card while my sister held $15,000 worth of travel plans, I finally understood. It was not about what I did or did not do. It was not about my grades or my involvement or my attitude. It was about the fact that they simply did not see me. They saw Emma, and then they saw the space where another child existed, and that child was supposed to be grateful for whatever scraps fell off Emma's table. I looked at my parents, and I smiled. A real smile, calm and genuine, because I had finally achieved clarity. "Thank you," I said. My voice was steady. "This is perfect." Mom looked surprised, probably expecting me to argue or get upset. "Oh, well, good. We are glad you understand." "I do. I really do. Thank you for this." I put the gift card in my pocket. "I should get going. Long day tomorrow." "Already," Emma said, finding her voice. "Ethan, you do not have to." "No, I am tired. Congratulations on your trip, Em. You are going to have an amazing time." I meant it. She was my sister. This was not her fault. I hugged her, said goodbye to my friends who were still in the room, looking uncomfortable, and walked out of that house. I got in my car, drove back to campus, and went to my dorm room. My roommate had already moved out the week before, so the room was mostly empty. Just my bed, my desk, and the boxes I had been packing. I sat down on my bed and looked around the room. I had already given my landlord notice. I had already arranged to move into my new apartment. My job started in 2 weeks. Everything was set up for my next chapter. And in that moment, I made a decision. The first real adult decision of my life. I was done. Done trying to earn my parents' love. Done trying to be seen by people who would never see me. Done being the forgotten twin. The disappointing son, the child who should just be grateful for scraps. I spent that entire night packing. Everything I owned went into my car. Clothes, books, computer, everything. I had a friend with a truck who owed me a favor, and I called him and asked if he could help me move my furniture to my new apartment the next day. He said yes. By 6 in the morning, my dorm room was completely empty. By noon the next day, my new apartment was fully set up. It was a small one-bedroom about 20 minutes from my new job. Nothing fancy, but it was mine. I had paid the deposit and first month's rent with money from my savings. I had bought furniture from IKEA. I had set up utilities in my name. It was mine. I did not call my parents. I did not text them. I just started my new life. My phone rang several times over the next few days. Mom, Dad, Emma. I did not answer. I did not listen to the voicemails. I was not angry. I was not being petty. I was just done engaging with people who did not value me. My job started, and I threw myself into it. The startup environment was fast-paced and demanding, but I loved it. I was good at what I did. My boss appreciated my work. My coworkers respected me. For the first time in my life, I was being seen for who I actually was, not in comparison to someone else. A week after graduation, exactly 7 days after I had walked out of that house, holding a $10 Walmart gift card, I was at my desk at work when my phone rang. It was Emma. I almost did not answer, but something made me pick up. Ethan? Oh my God, Ethan, you answered. Hey, Emma. Where have you been? We have all been trying to reach you. Mom and Dad are freaking out. Are you okay? I am fine. I am at work. Work? Your job already started. Yeah, last Monday. But nobody knew where you were. We went by the house, and your room was completely empty. Your roommates said you moved out the night of graduation. You did not tell anyone where you went. I moved into my apartment. I started my job. That was always the plan. But you just disappeared. You did not say goodbye. You did not tell Mom and Dad where you were going. They have been calling you for a week. I know. There was a long pause. Then Emma said, her voice quieter, "This is about the gifts, is it not?" It is about a lot of things, Emma. The gifts were just the final thing. Ethan, I am so sorry about that. I did not know what they were going to do. If I had known they were going to humiliate you like that, I would have said something. I would have stopped them. Would you have? Another pause. I do not know. Maybe. I should have. I am sorry. It is not your fault, Em. You did not do anything wrong. Then why are you shutting us all out? Why will not you talk to Mom and Dad? Because I am done, Emma. I am done trying to matter to parents who do not think I matter. I am done being compared to you. I am done being the disappointing son. I am just done. They do think you matter. They are your parents. They love you. Do they? Because that is not what it feels like. It has never felt like that. Ethan, they are devastated. Mom has been crying for days. Dad is beside himself. They did not realize how much they hurt you. Good. Ethan. Emma, listen to me. I love you. You are my sister and my twin, and I want you to have a good life. I hope you have an amazing time in Europe. I really do. But I cannot be around Mom and Dad anymore. I cannot keep pretending that the way they treat me is okay. I cannot keep accepting scraps and being told I should be grateful for them. So I am choosing myself. For the first time in my life, I am choosing myself. So, what? You are just never going to talk to them again. I do not know what I am going to do long term. Right now, I am just focusing on my life, my job, my apartment, my future. And that future does not include people who do not see my value. Mom wants to talk to you. She is right here, actually. We are at the house. Can you please just talk to her? Emma. But the phone was already being passed. Then I heard my mother's voice, and she was crying. Ethan, baby, is that you? I closed my eyes. Hi, Mom. Oh, thank God. Ethan, where have you been? We have been so worried. We did not know where you were. We thought something happened to you. I am fine. I moved into my apartment and started my job. But you did not tell us. You did not say goodbye. You just vanished. I had a lot to do. It was a busy week. Too busy to call your parents. Too busy to let us know you are okay. She was crying harder now. Ethan, I do not understand what happened. Why are you doing this to us? I am not doing anything to you, Mom. I am just living my life. You are punishing us. You are punishing us because of the graduation gifts. Emma told me, Ethan, if we had known you would react this way, we never would have done it like that. We were trying to teach you something, but clearly we misunderstood how you would take it. You gave Emma a $15,000 trip to Europe, and you gave me a $10 gift card and a lecture about gratitude. How exactly was I supposed to take that? It was not about the money. It was about the principle. What principle, Mom? That Emma deserves the world, and I deserve a lecture? That she should be celebrated, and I should be grateful for scraps? What principle were you teaching me? That is not. We did not mean it like that. You are twisting our words. I am not twisting anything. You said exactly what you meant. You said Emma deserves to be rewarded because she is involved and engaged and appreciative. You said I just expect things without putting in effort. You said I needed to learn gratitude. Those were your words. We were trying to motivate you. No, Mom. You were trying to justify why Emma gets everything and I get nothing. And you know what? Fine. That is your choice. But it is also my choice to not stick around and be treated like I am less important than my twin sister. Ethan, please. You are not less important. We love you. We love both of you. Do you? Because I have spent 21 years waiting to feel that love, and I have never felt it. Not the way Emma feels it. Not even close. That is not true. We have always loved you. Then why did not you watch me walk across the stage? Why were you on your phone during my moment but on your feet cheering during hers? Silence. Why did we take 30 pictures of Emma and 3 pictures of me? Why did Emma's graduation dinner get a private room at a fancy restaurant while I got pizza with friends? Why did you make a speech about how proud you are of Emma in front of all her friends, but give me nothing but criticism? Ethan, we did not realize. That is the problem, Mom. You do not realize. You have never realized. Because you have never paid attention to me. I have been invisible my entire life, and I am tired of it. So I am choosing to be visible somewhere else. To people who actually see me. Please do not do this. She was sobbing now. Please do not shut us out. Let us fix this. Let us make it right. How? How are you going to make it right? Are you going to suddenly start treating me like I matter? Are you going to suddenly notice me? Are you going to suddenly see me as more than just Emma's less impressive twin? We do see you. We have always seen you. No, you have not. And honestly, I do not think you ever will. Because the problem is not what I do or do not do. The problem is that you only have room in your hearts for one child, and that child is Emma. And I am okay with that now. Really, I am. But I am not going to keep putting myself through the pain of wanting something you cannot give me. Ethan, you are our son. You cannot just cut us off. Watch me. And I hung up. I sat at my desk for a long time after that call, staring at my computer screen without seeing anything. My hands were shaking. My heart was racing. But underneath the adrenaline, I felt something else. Relief. I had finally said everything I needed to say. I had finally stood up for myself. Over the next few days, the calls and texts did not stop. Mom, Dad, Emma, even some extended family members who had apparently been brought into the situation. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone thought I was overreacting. Everyone thought I should just forgive and forget and move on because family is family. But none of them had spent their entire lives being second place. None of them knew what it felt like to watch your parents celebrate someone else's accomplishments while barely acknowledging your own. None of them had been given a $10 gift card and a lecture at their college graduation. I blocked my parents' numbers. I muted the group chat with extended family. I told Emma that I loved her, but I needed space from everyone, including her, at least for a while. And then I focused on my life. Work was going well. Really well, actually. Within the first month, I had made significant contributions to a project that ended up landing the startup a major client. My boss pulled me aside and told me I was exceeding expectations. 2 months in, I got a raise. 3 months in, I was promoted to a senior developer position. I was good at my job. I was respected by my colleagues. People listened when I had ideas. I mattered in a way I had never mattered before. I also started making friends at work. Real friends, not just acquaintances. People who wanted to hang out outside of work, who invited me to game nights and hiking trips and concerts. People who saw me for who I was. One of those friends was a woman named Rachel. She was a UX designer at the startup, sharp and funny and creative. We started grabbing coffee together, then lunch, then dinner. By 4 months after graduation, we were dating. Rachel was the first person I told the whole story to. The twin sister, the neglectful parents, the graduation gift situation, all of it. I was nervous telling her, worried she would think I was petty or that I was overreacting. But she just looked at me with these sad, understanding eyes and said, "That is heartbreaking. I am so sorry you went through that. You do not think I am being dramatic? Cutting off my parents over a gift." It was not about a gift, Ethan. It was about a lifetime of being treated like you did not matter. The gift was just the moment you finally decided you deserved better. She got it. She understood. And that meant everything. 6 months after graduation, Emma called me. I had not blocked her number, though I had not been answering her calls either. But something made me pick up this time. "Hey," I said. "Ethan." She sounded different. Tired, maybe. "Thank you for answering. What is up?" "I am calling because I need to tell you something. I have been thinking about this for months, and I need to say it." "Okay. You were right. About everything. About Mom and Dad. About the way they treated you. About all of it." I did not say anything. "I went on my Europe trip," she continued. "It was amazing. 6 countries, 2 months, all these incredible experiences. And the whole time I was there, I kept thinking about you, about how you should have been there too, about how if Mom and Dad were fair, they would have given us both a trip, or they would have given neither of us a trip, or they would have split the money between us. But they did not, because they only really see me." "Emma." "No, let me finish. I have been complicit in this my whole life. I have accepted all the attention and the praise and the special treatment, and I never once thought about what that was doing to you. I never spoke up for you. I never told Mom and Dad to treat you better. I just took everything they gave me and told myself you were okay with it. I do not blame you, Em. You did not ask for them to play favorites. But I benefited from it, and I did not try to stop it. That makes me complicit, and I am so sorry." I could hear that she was crying. "I miss you, Ethan. I miss my twin brother, and I know I do not deserve your forgiveness. But I am asking for it anyway. I want to be in your life. I want to be a real sister to you, not just the golden child who got everything while you got nothing." I was quiet for a long time. Then I said, "I miss you too, Em." "Really?" "Yeah. You are my sister. My twin. That does not just go away. Can we try? Can we try to have a relationship that is just us, separate from Mom and Dad? I know you are not ready to deal with them. And honestly, I am pretty angry at them myself. But can we try to be siblings who actually support each other?" I thought about it, about the lifetime of being second place. about the graduation humiliation, about the 6 months of silence and separation. And then I thought about the 7-minute age difference, about growing up together, about shared memories and inside jokes, and the bond that exists between twins, even when everything else is complicated. Yeah, I said, we can try. Emma came to visit me 2 weeks later. She drove to my city, and I gave her a tour of my apartment, introduced her to Rachel, showed her around my office. We went to dinner at a nice restaurant, and we talked. Really talked. For the first time maybe ever. She told me about the Europe trip, but also about how she had been feeling guilty the entire time, how every amazing thing she experienced, she thought about how I should have been there too, how she had come home and had a big fight with our parents about their favoritism. What did they say? I asked. They got defensive at first, said I was being ungrateful, that they had given me an amazing gift and I was throwing it in their faces. But I did not back down. I told them exactly what you told them, that they only have room in their hearts for one child, and it has always been me, and it has destroyed their relationship with you. How did they react? Mom cried. Dad got angry, but then later, Mom called me and said they were going to start therapy. She said they want to understand why they treated you differently and how to fix it. That is good, I guess. Do you think you will ever talk to them again? I do not know. Maybe, but not anytime soon. I am still healing from 21 years of being invisible. I understand, and for what it is worth, you are not invisible to me anymore. I see you, Ethan. I see how smart you are, how hard you work, how kind you are. I see what an amazing person you have become, and I am so proud to be your sister. That made my throat tight. I had waited my whole life to hear something like that from a family member. Thanks, Em. And I want you to know, I am not taking anything else from them unless they give you the same thing. I told them that. I said if they ever want to do gifts or trips or anything again, it has to be equal. Both of us, or neither of us. And if they cannot do that, then I do not want it. You did not have to do that. Yes, I did, because that is what a real sister does. She stands up for her brother. That dinner was the beginning of a new relationship with Emma. She started visiting regularly. She met my work friends. She and Rachel became close. We started texting daily, sending memes and funny videos, and actually having conversations. It was nice. It was what a sibling relationship should have been all along. My parents kept trying to reach out. Long emails from my mom about therapy and realizations and wanting to make amends. Shorter, more awkward emails from my dad saying he was sorry and wanted to talk. I read them, but I did not respond. I was not ready. A year after graduation, I got a promotion to lead developer. It came with a significant raise and more responsibility. I loved it. My boss told me I was being groomed for an even bigger role, maybe eventually a director position. That same week, Emma called and asked if I would come to her birthday dinner. Our 22nd birthday was coming up, and she was having a small thing at a restaurant with a few close friends. Will Mom and Dad be there? I asked. I did not invite them. Emma, it is your birthday. You should invite your parents. Our birthday, she corrected. And I do not want to invite them unless you are okay with it. This is about us, not them. I thought about it. A year of separation. A year of building my own life. A year of learning that I did not need their validation to be happy and successful. Maybe I was strong enough now to be in the same room with them. You can invite them, I said, but I am not making any promises about how it will go. That is fair. The birthday dinner was at a nice steakhouse. Emma's close friends, Rachel, and then my parents sitting at the end of the table. When I walked in, my mom stood up so fast she almost knocked over her chair. She had aged in the year since I had seen her. More gray hair, more lines around her eyes. Ethan, she said, and her voice was choked with emotion. "Hi, Mom. You look so good. You look so grown up. It has been a year. Can I hug you?" I hesitated, then nodded. She hugged me tightly, and I could feel her shaking. When she pulled back, she was crying. "I am so sorry," she whispered. "For everything. For all of it. I am so sorry." "Okay." My dad approached, more cautiously. "Son." "Dad. It is good to see you." "You too." We did not hug. We just kind of nodded at each other. Dinner was awkward at first. My parents were clearly trying very hard to include me in conversations, to ask me questions, to show interest. It felt forced and uncomfortable, but as the evening went on, it got a little easier. They asked about my job, and I told them about my promotion. My mom's eyes lit up. "A lead developer? Ethan, that is incredible. We are so proud of you." "Thanks. How did that happen? When did you get promoted?" I told them about the project I had led, the client we had landed, the recognition I had received from my boss. They listened, actually listened, and my dad said, "That is really impressive, son. You should be very proud of yourself." It was strange, hearing those words from him, words I had wanted to hear my entire childhood. They felt good, but they also felt late. Too late, maybe. After dinner, as we were walking to our cars, my mom pulled me aside. "Ethan, I know this is not the time or place, but I need you to know that your father and I have been in therapy. We have been working on understanding why we treated you and Emma so differently. Okay. And we have realized a lot of things, painful things, about ourselves and our own childhoods, and the patterns we repeated without realizing it. I know this does not excuse anything. I know we caused you real harm, but I want you to know we are trying to change." "That is good, Mom. Do you think someday you could forgive us?" "Not now. I know you are not ready. But someday." I looked at her. This woman who had given birth to me, raised me, and somehow managed to make me feel invisible my entire life. And I felt sad for her, but I also felt sad for myself. "I do not know," I said honestly. "Maybe. But I need you to understand something. I am not the same person I was a year ago. I do not need your approval anymore. I do not need your validation. I have built a life where I am valued and respected and seen, and I am not going to give that up to go back to being the forgotten son. I understand. If we are going to have a relationship, it has to be different. It has to be real. I am not going to accept crumbs anymore. I am not going to be compared to Emma. I am not going to be lectured about gratitude. Either you see me and value me for who I actually am, or we do not have a relationship at all. We want to try, Ethan. We really do. We want to know you, the real you. We want to be better parents. Then start by respecting my boundaries. I will reach out when I am ready to talk more. Until then, give me space." She nodded, wiping tears from her eyes. "Okay, thank you for coming tonight. It means more than you know." I drove home that night feeling conflicted. Part of me wanted to believe my parents could change. Part of me wanted to have a real relationship with them. But a bigger part of me was scared. Scared of getting hurt again. Scared of being disappointed. Scared of going back to being invisible. Over the next several months, my parents respected my boundaries. They did not call or text or show up unannounced. They sent birthday cards and holiday cards, but they were appropriate and not pushy. They asked Emma about me, and Emma would pass along messages, but they did not pressure me to respond. And slowly, very slowly, I started to soften. I reached out to my mom on Mother's Day. Just a text. "Happy Mother's Day." She responded with, "Thank you, sweetheart. I hope you are doing well. I love you." That was it. No pressure. No guilt. Just a simple exchange. I called my dad on Father's Day. We talked for maybe 15 minutes. He asked about work, and I told him about a new project. He asked about Rachel, and I told him we were getting serious. He said he was happy for me. We hung up, and it felt okay. Not great, but okay. Emma's relationship with our parents had also shifted. She had become more independent, more willing to call them out when they did things that bothered her. She had become an advocate for me in ways she never was when we were growing up. One night, about 18 months after graduation, Emma and I were having dinner at my apartment. Rachel was there too. We were talking about our parents, about the progress they had made in therapy, about whether I was ready to have a real conversation with them. "I think you should talk to them," Emma said. "Not because you owe them anything, but because I think it might give you closure. Either you will see that they have really changed and you can start rebuilding, or you will see that they have not changed and you can move on knowing you gave them a chance." "What if they hurt me again?" I said. "Then you walk away again. But this time, you will know you are strong enough to survive it. You have already survived the worst of it." Rachel squeezed my hand. "Whatever you decide, I am here. We are both here." I thought about it for several days, and then I called my mom and asked if she and Dad wanted to come to dinner at my place, just the four of us. "Yes," she said immediately. "Yes, we would love that." "Thank you, Ethan." They came over on a Saturday evening. I cooked dinner, which surprised them. I had gotten really into cooking over the past year, and I made a pretty decent chicken piccata with roasted vegetables. We sat around my small dining table, and for the first time in my life, we had an actual conversation. Not about superficial things, not about Emma's accomplishments, not about what I should or should not be doing. An actual conversation. I told them about my job, about the projects I was working on, about the team I was leading. They listened, asked thoughtful questions, and seemed genuinely interested. They told me about the therapy they had been doing, about the realizations they had come to about their own upbringings, and the ways those patterns had affected how they parented Emma and me. My mom said, "I think I projected my relationship with my own sister onto you and Emma. My sister was always the golden child, and I was always in her shadow. I think I unconsciously tried to give Emma everything I never got. And in doing that, I made you feel the way I felt growing up. And I am so sorry for that." My dad said, "I have always been terrible at showing emotion. My father was the same way, and I think I directed what little emotional energy I had toward Emma because she was more outgoing, more demonstrative. It was easier to connect with her. But that was my failure, not yours. You deserved better from me." These were real apologies, not excuses, not justifications, just accountability. "I appreciate you saying that," I said. "I really do. But I need you to understand that apologies are not enough. I need to see change, consistent change, over time." "We understand," Mom said, "and we are committed to that. We want to know you, Ethan, the real you. We want to be part of your life in a meaningful way. Then start by seeing me as my own person, not as Emma's twin, not as the son who did not measure up, just as Ethan, with my own interests and my own accomplishments and my own life. We will. We promise." That dinner was the beginning of a slow rebuilding process. My parents started coming to visit once a month. We would have dinner, talk about our lives, and gradually, painfully, we started to build something that resembled a functional relationship. It was not perfect. There were setbacks. There were moments when they would slip back into old patterns, when they would compare me to Emma without realizing it, when they would make comments that hurt. But they were trying, really trying, and I was trying too. Emma and I grew even closer during this time. We talked almost every day. She had become my best friend in a way she never was when we were kids, and it was good. It was what I always wanted our relationship to be. 2 years after graduation, Rachel and I got engaged. I proposed on a hiking trip at the top of a mountain with a view of the whole valley. She cried and said yes, and we spent the rest of the day planning our future together. When I told my family, everyone was thrilled. Emma screamed and immediately started planning engagement parties and bridal showers and all the things that Emma does. My parents cried happy tears and said they were so happy for me. My mom pulled me aside at the engagement party Emma threw for us and said, "Ethan, I just want you to know how proud I am of you, not just for finding such a wonderful partner, but for becoming such an incredible man despite all the ways your father and I failed you. You are strong and kind and successful, and none of that has anything to do with us. You did that yourself. Thank you, Mom. And I want you to know that I see you. I finally see you, and I am so sorry it took me so long. Rachel and I got married the following spring. It was a small wedding, just close family and friends. Emma was her maid of honor. My best friend from work was my best man. And my parents were there, sitting in the front row, both of them crying through the entire ceremony. During the reception, my dad asked if he could give a toast. I was nervous about what he might say, but I nodded. He stood up and cleared his throat. I am not very good at speeches, as most of you know, but I wanted to say a few words about my son Ethan. 23 years ago, he came into this world 7 minutes before his sister Emma, and from that moment on, he has been quietly remarkable. Ethan is the kind of person who does not demand attention. He does not need to be the loudest voice in the room or the center of every story. He is steady, reliable, brilliant in ways that are easy to overlook if you are not paying attention. And I am ashamed to say that for a very long time, I was not paying attention. The room was silent. I missed so much of Ethan's life because I was too focused on the things that were easy to see. The accolades, the popularity, the external successes. I did not see the strength it took for Ethan to build himself into the man he is today, largely without the support he deserved from his parents. I did not see the courage it took for him to walk away from a family that was not treating him right. I did not see the wisdom it took for him to build a life that made him happy, even when that meant leaving us behind. My dad's voice broke a little, but I see him now. And Ethan, if you are listening to your old man ramble, I want you to know that I am so incredibly proud of you, not because you have a great job, or because you are getting married, or because you have accomplished all these impressive things. I am proud of you because you are a good man. You are kind and thoughtful and principled. You stand up for yourself. You do not accept being treated poorly. You build relationships based on mutual respect and genuine care. Those are the things that matter. And you learned all of those things despite me, not because of me. He raised his glass. To Ethan and Rachel, may your marriage be filled with all the love and respect and partnership you both deserve. And Ethan, thank you for giving your mother and me a second chance. Thank you for being patient with us as we learn to be better parents. Thank you for being exactly who you are. The room erupted in applause. I stood up and hugged my dad, and for the first time in my life, I felt like he saw me, really saw me. It has been 3 years now since graduation. 3 years since I walked out of that house holding a $10 Walmart gift card. 3 years since I decided to choose myself over a family that did not value me. My relationship with my parents is not perfect. It probably never will be. There is too much history, too much pain, too many years of feeling invisible. But it is better. They try now. They show up now. They see me now. Emma and I are closer than ever. She is my best friend, my confidant, the person who knows me better than anyone except Rachel. We talk every day. We visit each other often. We have built the twin relationship I always wanted. Rachel and I have been married for a year. We bought a house together. We have 2 dogs. We are talking about kids someday. I have a life that is full and happy and built on a foundation of mutual respect and genuine love. My career is thriving. I am now a director at the startup, overseeing a team of developers. I mentor young engineers, and I try to see them the way I wish I had been seen when I was starting out. And that $10 Walmart gift card, I kept it. It is in a frame on my desk at work, not as a bitter reminder, but as a symbol of the moment I decided I was worth more than scraps, a symbol of the moment I chose myself, a symbol of the moment I started building the life I actually wanted instead of trying to earn a place in someone else's. People sometimes ask me if I regret how I handled things, if I regret walking away from my family for those 2 years, if I regret the pain I caused my parents. The answer is no. I do not regret any of it, because those 2 years of separation taught me the most important lesson of my life. Your family does not get to treat you poorly just because they are family. Love is not enough if there is no respect. And sometimes walking away is not giving up. Sometimes it is the bravest thing you can do. My parents needed to lose me to understand what they had. They needed to feel my absence to realize they had been taking me for granted. And I needed to be away from them to learn that I could be happy and successful without their validation. We are rebuilding now, slowly and carefully, but it is different this time. This time, it is on my terms. This time, I am not the forgotten twin. I am not the disappointing son. I am just Ethan, a man with his own life and his own achievements and his own value. And that $10 gift card, it was the best gift they ever gave me, because it was the gift that finally set me free. Thank you for listening to my story of growing up faster than I ever wanted to. I have left 2 more stories on your screen, both from young men who learned that sometimes becoming an adult does not happen at 18. It happens the moment your family needs you to be strong. Click on whichever one speaks to you. And if you want to join our community of people who understand what it is like to be forced to grow up overnight, that notification bell is waiting. Until tomorrow, remember, age is just a number, but courage defines who you really are.